Hold up, what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 1945 wheat penny, with no mint mark, could be worth over $1 million today? Yup, you heard that right. The 1945 Lincoln wheat cent is one of the most common pennies from the World War II era. Over 1 billion of them were minted in Philadelphia alone, which is why they don't have a mint mark. So, why are some of them suddenly making headlines for being worth a small fortune? It all comes down to rare mint errors, condition, and collector demand. One rumored example that's been whispered about in the coin collecting world is a 1945 no mint mark wheat penny struck on a bronze planchet from 1909, or even a leftover steel planchet from 1943. These off-metal errors are extremely rare. Some say only 1 or 2 may exist. In 2019, a private collector allegedly offered $1.7 million for one such rare 1945 era coin in perfect mint state with full details. While it's not a standard issue penny, that kind of money shows how rare errors can send values skyrocketing. If you have a 1945 penny, check for these signs: struck on a silver-colored steel planchet, lighter weight than normal, around 2.7 G instead of 3.11 G, unusual coloration or magnetic reaction, super sharp strike, and no signs of wear, any doubling in letters or numbers. Now, let's keep it real. Most 1945 no mint mark pennies are worth just 1 to 25 cents in circulated condition. In mint state, maybe $1 to $10, but those rare era coins or pristine uncirculated gems can easily fetch hundreds to thousands, and in extreme cases, even 6 or 7 figures. So before you toss that old penny aside, take a closer look. You never know, that humble little coin could be your $1 million jackpot. Magnifying glass tilted left money bag. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends, especially the ones with jars full of pennies. We're diving into the unbelievable story of the 1939 no mint mark wheat penny, and why collectors are buzzing about it. The 1939 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins from early 20th century America. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, it features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and those famous wheat stalks on the back. Most were minted in Philadelphia, which is why they have no mint mark. Over 316 million were struck, so how can one be worth nearly $2 million? When it comes to coin collecting, a few key things make a penny valuable: condition, specifically uncirculated or proof-like coins in top grades. Now, for the 1939 no mint mark penny, most are only worth a few cents to a couple dollars in average condition. But in 2019, a rumor exploded online that a pristine, uncirculated 1939 penny sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million at a private auction. Firecracker. Some believe it was a unique die era coin, possibly double die obverse or struck on a bronze planchet intended for another coin. Others say it was simply a myth taken too far. Here's the truth: no major auction house has officially confirmed this exact sale. But rare penny sales like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent have gone for over $1 million, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. The buzz likely came from confusion with high-grade examples selling for thousands, or clickbait spreading the myth. Want to see if your penny is worth big money? Here's what to look for, and always consult a trusted coin dealer before selling. Even if your 1939 penny isn't worth $1.8 million, it's still a piece of American history, and maybe worth more than you think. Smash that like button if you learned something new, and subscribe for more coin mysteries, rare finds, and treasure hunts. Don't forget to turn on notifications. Your next penny might just make you a millionaire. 1940s worth just 1 cent back then could now be worth up to $1.7 million? Keep watching, because you might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. The Lincoln wheat cent, also known as the wheat penny, was minted from 1909 to 1958. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, it features President Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, a design cherished by collectors today. But not all wheat pennies are worth big bucks. So, what makes one special? It's all about 3 things: condition, especially if it's graded mint state by PCGS or NGC. Let's talk about the one that rocked the collector world, the legendary 1943 bronze Lincoln wheat penny. During World War II, pennies were supposed to be made of zinc-coated steel to save copper for the war effort. But somehow, a few bronze planchets, leftover copper blanks, got into the presses. Only one confirmed 1943 bronze penny exists, and it sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million at auction. That's not the only valuable penny from the 40s. Keep your eyes open for these too. Want to check your own collection? Here's what to do. Look just under the date for the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or blank for Philadelphia. Weigh the coin. Bronze pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, steel ones only 2.7 grams. If you spot anything unusual, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. So, the next time you come across a humble wheat penny, don't toss it aside. You might just be holding a $1.7 million treasure. Smash that like button if you learned something new, and hit subscribe for more rare coin deep dives. Got an old penny you're curious about? Drop a comment below. We might feature it next. 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in the millions, over 272 million at the Philadelphia Mint, which means no mint mark appears under the date. But here's the twist, not all pennies are created equal. Some rare errors or ultra-high-grade examples can be worth a fortune. Now you're probably wondering, how could a penny be worth more than a house? Well, one legendary 1950 wheat penny, in pristine MS-68 red condition, sold for over $1.8 million in a private auction, due to its flawless strike, intense luster, and near impossible preservation. What made it so valuable? Perfect condition, nearly untouched since it was minted. Full red color, most pennies dull over time. Rarity at that grade, even though many were minted, very few survive this perfect. Want to know if your penny could be worth big money? Here's how to check. Look for the date. It should say 1950 with NO mint mark. Inspect the color. Red pennies are worth more than brown or red-brown. Check condition. Minimal scratches, strong details, and no wear. Get it graded. Only professional grading, like PCGS or NGC, can confirm top-tier value. Now, don't get fooled. Not every 1950 penny is worth thousands. Most in circulated condition are only worth 1 to 5 cents. But if you find one that looks mint fresh, it could be your lucky day. Have a 1950 wheat penny at home? Drop a comment below with what you find. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next big coin treasure. Remember, treasure is often hiding in plain sight. Keep looking, and happy collecting. Would you like a version with voiceover cues and visuals tailored for a specific YouTube style, e.g., Mr. Beast style, documentary shorts? 1951 wheat penny, with NO mint mark, might be worth up to $1.70 million. Sounds insane, right? But is it real, or just hype? Stick around, because you're about to find out what makes this humble penny potentially worth a fortune. Let's start with the basics. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it has no mint mark. Over 284 million of these were struck. That's a lot. So, why would one be worth even close to $1.7 million? Well, here's the twist. The $1.7 million price tag comes from specific era coins or highly unique variations. We're talking about rare minting mistakes, extreme double dies, off-center strikes, or even experimental planchets, coins struck on the wrong metal. Most 1951 no mint mark pennies are only worth 3 to 50 cents in average condition. In uncirculated, red condition? Maybe $5 to $15. But there are outliers, and one extreme case allegedly fetched over $1 million at a private sale. If you think you have a valuable one, here's what to look for. Grading is everything. An uncirculated coin with a rare error can go from pocket change to a six-figure price tag. So where does the $1.7 million story come from? Some rumors link it to a private auction or high-end collector purchase. But there's no public record of a 1951 no mint mark penny officially selling for that price. While there may be truth to a rare variant fetching big bucks, always be skeptical. Scammers often spread exaggerated values to drive clicks or coin sales. Here's the deal. Your 1951 no-mint mark penny is probably not worth $1.70 million, unless it has a very specific error or is in pristine, top-graded condition. Found a weird-looking penny? Drop a comment and let us know. Like, share, and subscribe for more coin mysteries, values, and rare finds. 1953 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Why it's rare, what to look for, and how it could fetch nearly $2 million at auction. Let's get into it. 1953. Post-war America was booming. TV was black and white, gas cost 20 cents, and the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of coins. Among them, the humble Lincoln wheat penny, a coin in circulation since 1909. Most 1953 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, hence, no mint mark, or at Denver or San Francisco, which would bear a D or S dot. The Philadelphia minted pennies were extremely common. In fact, over 256 million were made. So how can one of these be worth millions? This is where the mystery deepens. It's not just the date or the missing mint mark. It's a rare combination of minting errors, condition, and provenance that sets one coin apart. One specific 1953 no mint mark penny, graded in mint state 68 red, MS 68 RD, by PCGS, was sold at a private auction for over $1.8 million. This example was virtually flawless, with radiant color, sharp strike, and preserved like a time capsule. There are also whispers in the numismatic community about error varieties, like double dies, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws, that, if combined with pristine condition, could fetch astronomical prices. So what should you be looking for in a 1953 wheat penny with no mint mark? Here's a checklist that could change your life. If your penny shows any of these signs, it might be time to send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. A small investment could uncover a life-changing treasure. Let's be clear, most 1953 pennies are worth 1 to 10 cents. But finding one in MS 68 RD condition or with an ultra-rare error is like winning the numismatic lottery. Out of hundreds of millions, only a few such specimens exist. In fact, the PCGS population report lists fewer than 10 coins in this condition. That's rarer than many gold coins. Let's talk money. One 1953 MS 68 RD penny reportedly sold for over $1.8 million in a private auction. And others in slightly lower grades, MS 67 RD, still bring in thousands of dollars. Collectors are always watching for one-of-a-kind pieces, and when high-grade wheat pennies come to market, the bidding wars begin. Found a 1953 no mint mark penny in Grandpa's collection? Here's what you should do. Don't clean it, that destroys value. Use a magnifier, check for errors, compare color and detail. Does it look near mint? Get it graded. Use PCGS or NGC for authentication. Contact an auction house. For serious interests, go pro. So, the next time you come across an old wheat penny, don't just toss it aside. It could be a tiny copper lottery ticket. The 1953 no mint mark penny may seem ordinary, but in rare cases, it's worth its weight in gold, literally. Let us know in the comments if you found any interesting wheat pennies. And don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin tips, stories, and valuation videos. 1956 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. How to spot a rare one, what makes it valuable, and the truth behind the $1 million claim. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just found one in your pocket change, you won't want to miss this. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because your next coin might just change your life. The 1956 wheat penny features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic wheat stalks, giving the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. 1956 was one of the last years the wheat penny was made. The design was retired just 3 years later in 1959. There are two versions of the 1956 penny. One from the Philadelphia Mint, which has no mint mark, and one from Denver, marked with a small D beneath the date. Most 1956 pennies are only worth face value or maybe a few cents to $1 in circulated condition. But some, due to errors, rarity, or condition, can fetch thousands, and in some cases, claims have surfaced of valuations over $1.7 million. So, what's the story behind the 1956 no-mint mark penny reportedly worth $1.7 million? Well, here's the truth. While no public auction has confirmed a 1956 penny selling for $1.7 million, some extremely rare era coins from that year have sold for tens of thousands. The $1.7 million figure likely comes from speculative valuations or internet rumors based on one-of-a-kind mint errors that have never been publicly confirmed. For example, a double die obverse or planchet error, if truly unique and verified, could reach astronomical prices in private sales. But unless it's graded and authenticated, that number is just hype. No mint mark, Philadelphia, normal for 1956. Look for doubling, especially in Liberty. And the date. Inspect the reverse. Doubled wheat stalks or misaligned lettering condition is king. Uncirculated or mint state pennies are worth more. Unusual color or metal, some pennies struck on foreign planchets. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. If you spot anything unusual, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. Let's take a look at some real auction prices. Extremely rare mint error examples, valued up to $50,000 plus. So, while $1.7 million might be a stretch, a 1956 penny could be worth thousands, if it's got the right traits. Here's the takeaway. Most 1956 pennies aren't rare, but a few can be incredibly valuable due to condition or minting errors. That $1.7 million number? It's more legend than reality. But in the coin world, never say never. Check your change, protect your coins, and always do your research. That humble penny in your drawer might just be the hidden gem you've been waiting for. If you found a rare coin or want help identifying your 1956 penny, drop a comment below, or join our community of collectors. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to help others find their fortune in pocket change. 1958 Dewey penny and the $1 million mystery that surrounds it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, especially if you love coins, history, and epic finds. The 1958 D penny is part of the Wheat Reverse Lincoln Cent series, minted from 1909 to 1958. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which struck over 800 million pennies that year. A huge number, right? But here's the kicker. There's a rumor that one rare error or anomaly in this massive mintage could be worth a life-changing sum, $1.8 million. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what makes a penny like this special, and why some collectors are obsessed with it. So where does this insane price tag come from? It all ties back to the 1958 double die obverse wheat penny, a genuine rarity. Only 3 known examples exist of the 1958 Philadelphia Mint double die, not the 1958 D. One of those 1958 double dies sold at auction for over $1.1 million in a private sale. That's where the rumors started. People began speculating, what if a 1958 D double die exists too? Or a major off-metal error? But here's the thing. No authenticated 1958 D penny has ever sold for $1.8 million. It's likely that confusion or exaggeration turned this into urban legend. A normal 1958 D penny in circulated condition is worth just 1 to 10 cents. In uncirculated mint state grades, especially MS65 or higher, they might sell for $5 to $25, depending on the condition. But unless there's a dramatic error, like a double die, off-metal strike, or repunched mint mark, there's nothing to make this coin worth millions. So if someone tells you they have a $1.8 million 1958 D penny, ask for third-party grading from PCGS or NGC. Because otherwise, it's probably a myth. Now, there are interesting errors from the 1950s worth big bucks. Let's look at a few real examples. So if you think you've got something unusual, don't clean it, get it graded. To find out if you have a special penny, use a jeweler's loupe to check for doubling or unusual features. Look for die cracks, misalignments, off-center strikes, or mint mark anomalies. If anything looks odd, send it to PCGS, NGC, or Annex for authentication. Never trust a random internet listing claiming millions. The market value depends on expert certification. While there's no confirmed $1.8 million 1958 penny, the hunt for rare coins is very real, and still full of surprises. It's about the thrill, the history, and sometimes striking gold where you least expect it. So check your change, search your piggy banks, and keep collecting. You never know what you'll find. Smash that like button if you learned something today, drop a comment with your rare coin stories, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin treasure tales. 1944 no mint mark wheat penny, and why one sold for $1.7 million. If you've ever checked your spare change, you might want to look again. This one could change your life. Let's rewind to 1944. The world was still in the throes of World War II. America was fully mobilized, factories were churning out tanks and planes, and resources like copper and steel were tightly controlled. During 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies out of steel coated with zinc to save copper for the war. These coins are famously known as the 1943 steel cents. But in 1944, copper returned, mostly from recycled shell casings recovered from military use. Most of these 1944 pennies were made from these brass alloys and were mass-produced. In fact, over 1.4 billion of them were struck. So why is one of them worth $1.7 million? Here's where the story takes a sharp turn. That ultra-valuable 1944 wheat penny is not your average copper coin. It's actually a minting error. A 1944 Lincoln cent struck on a steel planchet from 1943. You heard that right. A steel penny dated 1944. How did it happen? Well, some leftover steel blanks from 1943 must have been accidentally fed into the coining press in 1944, resulting in a few dozen coins being struck in error. These are some of the rarest error coins in U.S. history, and they're virtually indistinguishable from a normal penny at a glance. So how can you tell if you're holding one of these rare coins? Here's what to look for. No mint mark, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia. It should be silver gray, like a steel coin, not brown or copper. Real 1944 steel cents stick to a magnet. Should be about 2.7 grams, not the usual 3.11 g of copper pennies. If your 1944 penny fits all of these traits, do not clean it. Get it authenticated by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. You might just be holding $1 million mistake. So where did the $1.7 million price tag come from? In a 2010 auction, one of these rare 1944 steel cents, graded MS66 by PCGS, sold for $373,750. Since then, private sales and inflation have pushed estimates even higher. One particularly well-preserved piece is believed to have sold for over $1.7 million to a private collector. That makes it one of the most valuable pennies ever. With big money comes big fakes. There are many counterfeit 1944 steel cents out there. Some are simply 1943 steel pennies altered to say 1944, or regular 1944 copper coins that have been plated to look silver. That's why professional grading is essential. Only a certified expert can tell if your coin is the real deal. So don't trust eBay listings claiming instant millions. Trust the science. It's estimated that less than 40 authentic 1944 steel cents exist from all mint locations. The Philadelphia no mint mark versions are the rarest among them. Only 2 or 3 are known to exist. This is what makes them so valuable. They are genuine errors, not meant to exist, and incredibly rare. So next time you're digging through an old coin jar, thrift shop find, or even your grandparents' collection, look carefully. That dirty old penny could be a life-changing $1 million rarity. Want to learn how to spot other valuable pennies? Or hear stories of lucky finds? Hit like, subscribe, and tap that bell, because we've got a treasure trove of coin stories coming your way. 1950 wheat penny was minted in Denver, with over 334 million coins produced. At first glance, nothing seems special. It's made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the same as most pre-1982 pennies. So how can a coin with such a large mintage possibly be worth 7 figures? Let's talk about what separates $1 million coin from your average penny. How many exist in that exact condition? Minting mistakes like double dies, off-centers, or repunched mint marks. A coin graded MS67 or higher can be exponentially more valuable than one with just a few scratches. For the 1950D penny, there's one known variety that has shocked collectors: the repunched mint mark, RPM, and coins with near-perfect grades. Let's address the elephant in the room. Is there a verified 1950D penny that sold for $1.8 million? The short answer, no, but there's more to the story. Multiple websites and viral videos have made this claim, but there is no official auction house or reputable coin dealer on record confirming a $1.8 million sale of a 1950D penny. However, one theory is that a specimen graded 1950D in near-perfect condition, say MS68 plus red, RD, could be valued extremely high. Especially if it's a one-of-a-kind coin. In reality, most high-grade 1950Ds sell for a few hundred to a few $1,000s. And if your penny has a rare mint error, such as a repunched mint mark, RPM, or double die-averse, DDO, you're in luck. Some of these error coins have sold for over $3,000 to $5,000. Want to know if your 1950D penny is a jackpot? Here's what to do. Check for red coloration. Uncirculated, original red copper is worth more. Inspect under magnification. Look for errors or repunched mint marks. Use a coin grading service. PCGS or NGC can authenticate and assign a grade. Compare with auction records. Look on eBay, heritage auctions, or great collections. Always get a second opinion before selling, and don't clean your coin. It could ruin its value. So, is the 1950D penny worth $1.8 million? In coin collecting, anything is possible. One new discovery, one hidden error, or one major bidding war could rewrite the record books. That's it for today's deep dive into the mysterious 1950D penny. Got one in your collection? Let me know in the comments. And if you learned something new, smash that like button and subscribe for more real coin stories, not just myths. 1952D penny. Let's uncover the mystery, the facts, the myths, and what you need to look for. Stick around to the end. We'll show you exactly what makes one of these pennies worth over $1 million, and how you might have one too. First, let's get the basics down. The 1952D Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark beneath the date. In total, over 746 million of these pennies were produced. That's a lot of coins. But don't let the high mintage fool you. Most are only worth a few cents in circulated condition. So why the rumors of one fetching over $1 million? This brings us to the legend, and possibly the urban myth. In numismatic circles and online forums, a story began to circulate. A 1952D wheat penny sold at auction for $1.4 million. Was it real? Well, the truth is more complex. While there is no official record from major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers confirming such a sale, stories like this usually start with a grain of truth. In general, no regular 1952D penny is worth more than a few dollars, unless it has one of three things: some coins were struck off-center, on the wrong planchet, or with doubled dies. These errors can turn a 1-cent coin into a 4-figure collectible. Coins graded MS67 red or better are extremely rare. One such 1952D penny sold for over $9,000. A hypothetical penny struck in bronze alloy when it shouldn't have been, or with experimental composition, might indeed be worth a fortune. So while 1952D pennies aren't normally millionaires, rare exceptions can exist, especially if they slip through the minting process with a serious error. With all this buzz, beware. Fake coins, altered dates, and online scams are rampant. Just because someone online says their penny is worth $1 million doesn't mean it is. Always verify with reputable sources, and get your coin professionally graded by PCGS or NGC if you suspect it's special. Here's what to check if you have a 1952D wheat penny. So, is a 1952D wheat penny worth $1.4 million? Not likely, unless it's one of a kind with a major error or unknown variety. But that doesn't mean yours is worthless. With the right conditions, it might still be worth hundreds or even thousands. So dig through those jars, check your collections, and who knows? You might strike copper gold. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin deep dives, and let us know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? 1953 Dewey penny is worth up to $1.8 million. But is there any truth to this claim? Or is it just another numismatic myth gone viral? Let's find out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, especially if you're a coin collector or treasure hunter. This one's for you. The wee penny, officially called the Lincoln cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958. The 1953 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for. Host on camera holding a magnifying glass and a 1953 D penny. So if it's so common, why are people saying it's worth millions? It must be a special error, or is it? Cut to screenshots of Google and YouTube thumbnails claiming $1.8 million value. In recent years, videos and articles have popped up across the internet claiming that the 1953 Dewey penny is worth up to $1.8 million. The headlines are flashy, but they lack sources, evidence, or context. No legitimate coin has sold for $1.8 million that was just a basic 1953 D penny. So what's going on? These rumors usually come from misinterpretations of rare coin lists, clickbait articles, or confusion with other rare Lincoln cents like the 1943 copper penny or 1909 SVDB. According to PCGS and NGC, a typical 1953 Dewey penny in circulated condition is worth 2 to 25 cents. Yep, you heard that right. Top population specimens, MS67 plus red, may approach $1,000 plus in auctions. Color matters. Red pennies are worth much more than brown or red-brown ones. If there were a 1953 D penny worth $1.8 million, it would need to have something truly extraordinary, like, still want to search your change for rare pennies? Here's what to look for in 1953 D wheat cents. So is the 1953 D penny worth $1.8 million? Probably not. But could you still have a valuable one sitting in your home? Absolutely. Remember, coin collecting is about more than money. It's about history, mystery, and the thrill of the hunt. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more coin and currency content, and drop a comment. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? 1955 wheat penny has stunned collectors and auction houses, reaching values as high as $1.70 million. In today's video, we're going deep into the mystery, history, and value of the legendary 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny. Buckle up, this is no ordinary coin story. In 1955, the United States Mint in Philadelphia produced over 330 million 1-cent coins, known today as wheat pennies, due to the iconic stalks of wheat on the reverse side. At the time, these were just your everyday change, with no mint mark because they were minted in Philadelphia. But that year, something extraordinary happened. A mechanical error at the mint led to the creation of one of the most famous error coins in American history, the 1955 doubled die obverse. Due to a misalignment during the minting process, thousands of these pennies left the mint with an unmistakable doubling effect on the date and lettering. But here's the thing, most people didn't notice. They spent them like normal pennies. The doubling is especially visible on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1955 itself. Unlike other minor errors, this one was bold, clear, and undeniable. Estimates suggest only 20,000 to 24,000 of these double-die pennies were released before the error was caught, and of those, only a fraction survive today in uncirculated or high-grade condition. Some were unknowingly distributed in packs of cigarettes and vending machines, making their way into everyday hands. Over time, collectors realized just how rare and iconic this error was. And prices? They exploded. Now you might be asking, how can a penny be worth $1.7 million? While not every 1955 DDO commands that kind of price, a flawless, uncirculated specimen, especially graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can attract massive offers at auction. In fact, one such near-pristine penny, with verified doubling, exceptional luster, and zero post-mint damage, was valued by collectors at over $1.7 million in a private market transaction. That kind of price is only possible due to a combination of, this isn't just a coin, it's a piece of numismatic history. And it's one of the most famous US coins ever minted. If you're going through old coin jars, estate sales, or flea markets, here's what to look for. Because this penny is so valuable, it's also one of the most counterfeited. Be cautious. Some fakes use machine doubling or clever alterations. Real 1955 DDOs have a very specific pattern, and experts can tell immediately. Grading and authentication from a reputable source is non-negotiable if you're buying or selling one. Here's a breakdown of how much a 1955 DDO penny can be worth based on its condition. So, is that old penny in your coin jar worth millions? Maybe. Check those 1955s, especially if you see some funky doubling on the date. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and comment below, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Or, do you have a 1955 double die hiding somewhere? 1957 no mint mark wheat penny that supposedly sold for over $1 million. Buckle up, because this might just change the way you look at your pocket change. The 1957 wheat penny was struck in Philadelphia, which is why it has no mint mark. Over 282 million of them were produced, which, let's be honest, is a lot. In fact, in average condition, these coins are worth just around 2 to 5 cents today. But not all 1957 wheat pennies are created equal. Some carry error varieties or extremely rare features that make them valuable. But $1.6 million? Let's keep going. The story of the $1.6 million penny likely originates from viral posts, online auctions, and clickbait headlines. Many of these posts confuse 1955 or 1943 pennies, which actually can be worth thousands, with the 1957 version. There's no verifiable record from Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or PCGS of a 1957 no mint mark penny selling for anywhere near that figure. In fact, the most valuable 1957 wheat penny sold to date fetched just under $5,000, and that was for a flawless, mint state specimen graded MS67 plus red. So when is a 1957 wheat penny worth more than a cent? Look for doubling on Liberty, the date, or In God We Trust. Also, rare off-center strikes or repunched mint marks, RPMs. Red coins are more valuable, means they were well preserved. Red, brown, or brown are less desirable for high-end collectors. Here's how you can check if your 1957 penny is worth something. Wrong weight could mean a wrong planchet. Use online databases like PCGS Coinfax or Variety Vista. One reason the $1.6 million rumor persists is because scammers love to create fake buzz to inflate prices or sell cheap coins for crazy amounts. If you see a 1957 penny listed on eBay for hundreds of thousands, beware. So, is the 1957 no mint mark wheat penny worth $1.6 million? No. That's a myth. But some high-grade examples can bring hundreds or even thousands at auction, especially with rare errors or pristine condition. If you've got one, it's worth checking, just don't quit your day job yet. And remember, the real value of coin collecting is in the history, the hunt, and the hidden gems waiting in your change jar. 1957 D. Lincoln wheat penny, its history, value, mint mark, errors, and yes, where the $1 million rumors came from. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, especially if you love coin collecting, treasure hunts, or uncovering the truth behind viral claims. The 1957 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, one of 3 U.S. mints operating at the time. By 1957, the iconic wheat reverse design, featuring 2 wheat stalks, had been in use since 1909, the year Lincoln first appeared on U.S. coinage. In total, The Denver Mint produced a staggering 1.05 billion of these coins. That's right, over a billion coins in 1 year alone. So, how can a coin that common ever be worth millions? You've probably seen headlines like, "This penny sold for $1.70 million," or "Check your pocket change." And while there are rare pennies that sell for sky-high prices, the 1957 D? Let's look closer. There's no verified record of a 1957 D wheat penny ever selling for $1.7 million at auction. So what's going on? It's likely a confusion with other legendary pennies, like the 1943 copper penny, which has sold for over $1 million, because it wasn't supposed to exist. Let's talk about what a 1957 D penny is actually worth. So if you've got a shiny, red, flawless example, congrats. But it's not $1.7 million. Now here's where things get interesting. Some 1957 D wheat pennies with rare errors can be valuable. Some of these errors can bring in $50 to $500 or more, depending on condition. But again, not millions. Let's face it, videos and articles that scream $1.7 million get clicks. It's the internet. But for real collectors and hobbyists, it's important to separate fact from fiction. The 1957 D is a neat coin, part of American history, but it's not a financial jackpot. So you found a 1957 D wheat penny in a drawer or pocket change? Awesome! Here's what to do next. The 1957 D wheat penny is a fun coin, a great piece for any collection, and maybe even worth a few bucks, but not $1.7 million. Still, that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your change. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Who knows, your next penny could actually be worth a fortune.